What is up, everybody, over on Buff's channel for a change? Thanks everyone for following us over here. If you are a normal routine viewer, appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And also, Buff, thanks for hosting the show over here. I'm excited to be here in front of your community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm excited we were able to figure this out to bring it over here. So welcome everybody. If you're not aware, I do see some new faces in here because we're streaming over on my channel this time. So myself and Crash Games was nice enough to invite me to be a co-host for the Scope. So typically we run this over on his channel, and then down below in the description we have the links for the Scope's dedicated channel where we'll upload this after, as well as we do clips throughout the week as well over on that channel. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and follow that, and I'll probably leave this VOD up as well if you guys want to cover it there. But it will also be over on the Scope channel with all the little clips that'll come out of this as well. So definitely check that stuff out in the description down below. And we have, you guys can see the topics on screen. We have the chat showing there. So you guys, if you're watching this back, can see it, what's going on, what you're talking about. We had to do some little trickery. So it may be a little bit difficult for you guys to see. May not be, but we'll be playing with that going forward when we do this. We're going to probably, this is our first attempt at it here because we're hosting on my channel this time. So we'll figure it out, get it going a little bit there. And Chris H recognized the haircut. Thank you, Chris. This is my Modern Warfare 2 Soap McTavish haircut incoming here. So,
Oh man,
and Big Mike with the 50. Thank you, Big Mike. Appreciate it, brother.
Ooh, let's go.
But love to see you, Big Mike. So, Crash, how you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Man, it was all right. And I think what you said there is incredibly important because there is a lot of moving parts right now. Like I'm broadcasting it from Kansas. It's going up to your channel and like
Yeah.
you notice the chat looks a little bit different, but yeah, I think you covered it pretty well. If you guys are interested in the audio version, we do have a podcast listener that downloads it every week. Is near and dear to our heart. Shout out to the podcast listener. That link is down below. And then also we got the ticker at the top. We put silly stuff up there. And then the chat. The only thing that's not going to be working correctly tonight is the channel supporters. Those are linked to my account still and the members and stuff. But we're going to keep. It's a learning experience. It's kind of an experiment tonight, and we'll keep you guys updated. Follow the socials and everything to know where we're going live and all that stuff. But that Scope channel that is down below will be clips throughout the week from the show. So if you don't want to listen to the whole entire thing, you just want to catch certain things, those clips will be down below in that channel. Also, the VODs will go up there no matter what, so you won't miss anything over there. So I think that covers it. And yeah, the chat, when I started this show, I wanted you guys to be involved. The chat's really important to me, and that's why I want it on the screen, so when people go back to watch the VOD, you guys are part of the conversation. So that's super important to me. And yeah, just keep chatting away. I really appreciate it. I think that covers it. How was your weekend though? Let's talk about that first. I feel like Monday's a good topic. Just how
Yeah.
was the weekend? Wrap it up.
Weekend weekend was good. I was nursing a bit of a hangover on Saturday, but not too bad, not too bad. The fiance and I went out, had a good time, and yeah, just kind of took it easy, did some housekeeping items. One of the few weekends I've actually been home this summer, so I was just doing some stuff around the house and hanging out and actually like trying to rest for a change. So I didn't get to work on my tan, but I'm already way ahead of schedule, so all good.
Nice. I
How
can't go
about yourself?
outside here, man. It's like the surface of the sun, literally. We're supposed to finally get some cooler weather, but it's like 106-degree heat index and stuff all the time. And it's just not fun
Oh
to go
God.
outside. So I've been staying inside. I feel like the show almost didn't happen because I upgraded my computer with a new motherboard and CPU on Sunday, and that was incredibly sketchy. I thought I was going to lose everything, including like the overlays and all the media stuff for the show. Like I was sweating bullets. Let's just say I learned a lot about M.2 drives and their compatibility with motherboards. It took 9 hours, but
Oh God.
we're here. We're here. It was
Yeah.
incredibly scary.
And you mentioned that yesterday, and that sounded just like a nightmare. It's always like, yeah, it should be an easy thing I'm gonna do here, and then it turns into just like a nightmare. Been through that a million times with similar stuff, so it's terrible.
Yeah, it's honestly like my third CPU upgrade, and it was easier for me to go from Ryzen to Intel than this Intel to the newer Intel. Like,
Right.
which I thought, hey man, I handled the Ryzen upgrade. We're still in the Intel ecosystem. It's gonna be easy. I'm gonna plug everything in, hit the button, and we're good to go. No, I was flashing BIOS and I was doing like I got through it though, barely. It was it's
Barely.
one of it's a textbook, one of those like 1 hour job that ended up taking 9.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. You gotta
like
love it.
yeah, it was great. But I
What can go wrong will go wrong, right?
and
There you go.
the few remaining hairs that I have kept got even more white. Ugh.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I guess we could get into first person shooter gaming news talk. That's why everyone's here potentially. Um, the big news of the week: Ghost Recon Frontlines canceled. And honestly, as far along as they had this game, it caught me by surprise. Like I wasn't expecting that. What did you think when you first saw the news?
I was bummed because I remember last week's show we were just talking about this, and I know it came up with the chat Q and A's. You know what we thought about it, if it was going to get canceled or not, and we were both saying we hope not. And then literally, I think it was like the next 3 days later, it got officially canceled. So I mean, I was really disappointed. I see where a lot of people would, if you're a hardcore Ghost Recon fan, I can see obviously this probably wasn't something that should have been marketed as a Tom Clancy Ghost Recon because it's so far removed. So from that hardcore fan base perspective, I understand why people wanted it canceled. We're disappointed and are probably happy, but from just a regular gaming perspective, first person shooter, this game looked awesome to me. So I'm a little bummed. I think it's good for the Tom Clancy universe, I guess this is no longer going through. But as far as just a regular first person shooter gaming perspective or just gaming in general, I think it's a little disappointing. So I'm kind of bummed to hear this, to be honest.
Did we doom this game by talking about it? Like, is that on us?
I think we did. The timing was impeccable, to be honest.
We might have killed it. We could hear it. We could see the headlines now. The Scope podcast kills Ghost
Yeah.
Recon Frontlines. Sorry guys, we talked about it and it broke.
Yeah.
Um,
Jeez.
yeah, I have a couple thoughts on it too. After I made my video about it, the comments made it like abundantly clear to me that you hit the nail on the head. I think had it been its own thing, not Tom Clancy, not Ghost Recon, it would have had a
Mhm.
better chance of surviving. There's still kind of like a stigma with first person shooters, I feel like that's still a thing too. Or not, excuse me, battle royales.
Right.
They're in a weird place where people are getting a little sick of them, so there's that too. Uh,
Mhm.
but I think if it was just its own new IP, it would have been a lot better. It feels like a lot of the Ghost Recon faithful were glad that they weren't doing that with the game, and that's what we talked about a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago when we were talking about like Call of Duty needs to adapt, but they're in a weird place because they can't go too far because then it's
Mhm.
no longer Call of Duty. And I think
Right.
this was a case of Ghost Recon going too far where it wouldn't have been Ghost Recon anymore. But do you think there's a chance like it seems like they had the game close to ready to play test, you know, or they probably did play test it as finished as the trailers and stuff look. Do you think they're gonna repurpose all those assets into something else?
I was watching, they did some sort of play test on Twitch. It was early in the year, I think it was, that I was watching. And I remember watching it, and there is some gameplay out there on YouTube if you guys want to look it up for Frontline. There's gameplay out there. I hope they repurpose it because they said this was apparently in development for 3 years, right? And I mean, I really hope. I think you hit the nail on the head. If this was, and I think we both alluded to this in our separate videos on our channel, if this was just launched as when they announced it last October as only Frontline was what it was called, had no association with Tom Clancy or with Ghost Recon. It was just Frontline, a new BR experience. I think it would have been received way better. And if it were developed by any other studio besides Ubisoft, that they could have just lied and said, "Hey, we created a new studio called so and so, and they created this game Frontline." I think it would have been received way better because you wouldn't have everybody that's already upset with Ubisoft for what they've been doing to the Ghost Recon franchise. I think this was just kind of like you said, this is like the tipping point for that fandom. So I hope they, I think what they need to do with this one is the problem is they put in so many assets from like Ghost Recon Wildlands, from Breakpoint, and some of the other. You're going to see operator skins, obviously, from like Rainbow Six, same as we've seen everything ported into the Ghost Recon Wildland and Breakpoint. So I think they need to like get rid of a lot of that stuff and come up with new cosmetics the weapons are the weapons. I think those are fine, but I think they need to kind of remove the feel of the game from the Tom Clancy universe, and hopefully they relaunch it down the road. I think would be smart, or at least, like you said, put take everything that they've put into this, and maybe in another year or two bring it back up as something else, and bring assets from this gameplay ideas into a different battle royale experience, because they're doing a lot of stuff here in the trailer with like interrogations and things like that. Yeah, I think they were mentioning you'd be able to carry down teammates too if you didn't have like the ability to realize. So there was a lot of mechanics, gameplay mechanic wise, um, that we don't see in other battle royales, specifically Warzone, and also where Warzone was. Think about where Warzone was last October or all last year, and then currently still is. It's just been going downhill nonstop. So the door's been wide open for any battle royale game to come in and do what we all kind of wanted Warzone to do, right? Or take the mantle, I guess. So it's really unfortunate. I think this game had a lot of potential, and the gameplay that you can see out there looks really good. But I'm curious, and I want to know what you think is, do you think it was just the negative reaction that ended up canceling this, or do you think there was a lot going on with maybe development, developer resources, things like that, financials? It seems like there must have been, if the game was really in a good spot and looked well, I feel like they wouldn't have canned it just because it got bad reaction. They would have relaunched it, similar to what they did with X Defiant, is drop the Tom Clancy, drop the Ghost Recon, and they launched it as they're going to be launching it as X Defiant. So if the game were in a good place and they had confidence in it, I feel like they would have just launched it as Frontline.
Yeah, it is weird, and that's what the headline said, right? That it was canceled because of like bad press or poor reception from the community,
Mm-hmm.
which there was. But I don't know. On one hand, I guess the two thoughts I had about it was I kind of feel like we talked a lot about this last week, how the battle royale genre is getting stale, and this would have
Mm-hmm.
been a really good. I wanted to at least try it. Like maybe this I don't have like super high hopes for Ubisoft, but it might have been like led us down the path to our next better battle royale, something more fun with teamwork,
Right.
and it looked like it had kind of the setting and aesthetics that we like.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been something good, and I'm just sad we didn't at least get to try it. Um,
Right.
I hope they kind of learned their lesson. X Defiant sounds like it's going to keep going on. They dropped the Tom Clancy name from that. I
Mm-hmm.
wish they would have done that here.
Yeah.
Just changed the name of it and went forward with it. I think that would have been okay. But something might be going on at Ubisoft. I don't know. I could do the tinfoil hat thing, but again, guys, this is just me talking out of my butt. Uh, but um, but at the same time, it's like they canceled Splinter Cell VR, and then they've been absolutely axing Assassin's Creeds. Like they canceled another Assassin's Creed, I think. They
Mm-hmm.
canceled two other unannounced games. So if we think about it, those games didn't get bad press because they weren't announced yet. So they canceled those for other reasons. So maybe this was also canceled for a different reason. The Splinter Cell VR getting canceled probably upset a few people. I would rather just have a regular Splinter Cell not VR game. Would be pretty
Yeah, like
sweet.
let's just get a regular one. I think they still said, isn't there like a regular Splinter Cell still in development? They said, I thought, but who knows? Maybe
I can't.
maybe it was the VR.
My boomer brain can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. They're,
Um,
like you said, they're canceling everything left and right. So who really knows? Maybe this is maybe this is a sign that Ubisoft is finally listening to the community, because they did mention, um, that these games, Frontline and Splinter Cell VR, were canceled to allocate, financials and resources, meaning like developers, towards their more mainstream titles. So I would assume that means an actual Splinter Cell game and an actual Ghost Recon game.
yeah, hopefully so. And then I don't know why they're so scared. Why they think they need to have the Tom Clancy or the Ghost Recon name to sell a
Hmm.
game. It
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. They're a large enough publisher that if they build a shooter, people are gonna at least check it out. Like they have a big enough like
yeah.
base, and and people that know Ubisoft, I don't know why they think they have to put those names on games just to sell them. Maybe to get the hype, but I think it from the core community, but I think it backfired in this case.
Yeah,
And
it seems like it's been backfiring, right? They keep doing that, and it's just make it its own title.
yeah, I don't understand why they have to do that. And then um yeah, Ubisoft in general is in a weird spot because there's also been rumors of them trying to get sold or bought out or merged because back when I guess so Bungie went to PlayStation, you know, the giant Activision sell to Microsoft.
Hmm.
Um, all that stuff, rumors came out that EA was also looking to merge or sell, and Ubisoft was as well. So I don't know if it has something to
Yeah,
do with that, maybe, or if it's just I don't know. I don't know what's up with Ubisoft. I really don't. There, because even the Rainbow Six Siege content got delayed, so I still play
right.
a little bit of Siege, and even like the new stuff for the new rank system got delayed and everything like that. So I'm just I don't know. I don't know what's going on at Ubisoft, but it's weird.
Yeah, and I as we're looking at the trailer in the background, they had like one trailer that was solely about the game and walking through what it was going to be. Then they have this one we have in the background with which is like interviews with developers and stuff. This trailer did not do them any favors. It's so cringy listening. I mean, imagine if your community is already upset with you for what you've been putting out and you release this type of trailer saying 3 years of work, we're so excited. It was just, it couldn't have been any more scripted, first off. And it just came through as just phony, which is why I hate reading scripts to begin with. Because, I mean, you could tell none of it was genuine. You had people talking about the game that it just didn't resonate with anybody. Whenever I was using that clip the other day and I cut out like some of the interviews. So that this is just like ridiculous to listen to these guys talking about it. But then you flash the gameplay they're showing. The gameplay is awesome. So again, if any other studio made this game and they just had a gritty gameplay trailer, I think it would have been everyone's talking about it, right? But
Yeah, I think
they
so,
fumbled.
and especially if they were doing if they were and I feel like what would have been better from like if they insisted on using the Ghost Recon marketing. I think the
Hmm.
game should have been its own brand new different IP,
Yeah.
and then they could have sold like Ghost Recon skins like in the game. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what they did with Rainbow Six Siege
Hmm.
when they had uh Splinter Cell's what's his name? Oh my
Sam
gosh.
Fisher, right?
Yeah, they put jeez, man. Yeah, they put Sam Fisher in the game. They I think they could have done that. They could have sold some like Ghost Recon skins and stuff like that, and done like a season that centered like around that. You could have had some of those characters in the game, but the game itself is not Ghost Recon, and I think that would have been a good way if they insisted on doing that. It wouldn't
Right.
necessarily need to happen, but I feel like if you had a battle royale with the new kinds of stuff that it had, like the extraction type stuff and the squad composition with the gadgets and stuff like that, and it's free to play and it's from Ubisoft, people are at least gonna try it. Like love or
Hmm.
hate battle royales, people are at least gonna try it. So I just think it was a misstep. I hope they learn from it. And it seems like they had the game pretty far along. I mean, even in that
Yeah.
clip, even in that at the end of that trailer, it said PC test starting October 21 2021. So like a
And
long time
and
ago.
in that trailer was early October, so they were supposed to do the testing later that month, and because of the backlash, it got delayed, and it was just went, it was just a mess. So yeah, it's a shame because the actual gunplay looked pretty cool. I just wish they thought about it before doing what they did. So I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it's good it got canceled because of how they were handling it. Who knows? And especially, I see some people in chat saying if they used some of the mechanics from like Breakpoint and things like that as a first-person shooter, like it might have not been good. I mean, it I don't. I remember watching the Twitch gameplay, and I was like, I remember saying to myself like, this needs more time. Granted, Twitch never makes things look as good as they should be, but it's definitely a shame because Warzone's just been garbage for the past like year and a half or more, maybe 2 years at this point, and just the field's been wide open for someone to come in and do something. And this, even if it were halfway decent, like one level above trash, it would have done well. But
Yeah. Big Mike brings up something that I meant to as well. They had to shut down Hyperscape because no one played it, and they completely shut it down. So I wonder if they were still like a little gun shy from that. But
and that just
that
came out recently, didn't it?
um
It
couple
was like
years
end of last.
probably.
Oh, okay.
I
I
think it
don't
was probably
remember.
a couple years ago. I guess I could look at, but I I just that seems different to me. Like with the it was such a weird setting and a weird gameplay with like three different weapons, and like I'm not a game or development expert, but I could look at that game and be like, nobody wants that. But if you have a game that
Right.
looks like this, that's a lot more grounded, not necessarily realistic and tactical in how you play it, but like
Mhm.
this universe that looks a lot more grounded and realistic and
Right.
immersive, that's got a shot. But
Hmm.
I Hyperscape was weird from the get go. They tried to pull an Apex Legends and just release it out of nowhere, get people excited. It had a bunch of like Twitch extensions where chat could do stuff. Um, yeah, I just with the Hyperscape, I felt like you could just tell like this is not gonna work, guys.
Yeah, I remember watching. I remember briefly seeing like the trailers or some gameplay, and I was just thinking like this just looks like it's gonna fail. And they also did the Rainbow Six Extraction game that just came out, whatever that one was, which was based on that DLC they did. And that thing, I feel like nobody bought that, and no one's playing it currently.
Yeah, I even am a fairly big Rainbow Six Siege fan, and I'm not interested.
Yeah,
Because
not at
I don't
all.
know. Uh, yeah, it's just weird. It's such a weird premise and setting to where you're like you're these cool tactical Rainbow Six operators and you're fighting aliens, and
Hmm.
then I'm just not super into like PVE shooters. Um, I
Right.
like the PvP for the most part, and I know like games like Left 4 Dead are cool, and I guess there's some really cool PVE stuff in Insurgency Sandstorm.
Hmm.
Um, but I just don't think they just make these weird shooter games that I don't know who they're trying to appeal to.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah. 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 I mean, ultimately, I was sad to see it get canned, but to be fair, we don't really know what the game was going to play like. But I think what the snippets of gameplay we saw looked amazing, but they definitely didn't just can it because it got poor reception. There was more going on. I'm sure that'll come out in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to keep our eye on Ubisoft and see what they do because there's
Hmm.
some troubling signs coming out of there with canceling multiple games and pushing stuff back and delays on other titles, and it's going to be weird. Um, yeah, so I guess that probably wraps that up. Do you have anything to add on that one?
No, I think that says it all. We'll have to stay tuned and see if that ever comes back up in a couple of years.
Yep, let's keep our eye on it. So before we go to the next topic, um, well, nah, never mind. We're good.
Okay.
I had something in my head, but it's gone, dude. I'm so
It's
old,
Monday,
man.
dude. It's Monday. It's
It
Monday.
is.
It's
It's
all good.
Monday. I'm gonna have to pour a whiskey to get through,
There
which
you
I
go.
very well might do. It's sitting right here.
Do
I
it.
I might have to. Um, yeah. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about, maybe it'll come to me what I was gonna say, but I wouldn't count on it. Yeah. The next thing we're gonna talk about is there was an Apex player in a tournament who was banned for teabagging. Now, if that sounds ridiculous to you, that's because it is. Um,
Yeah.
Also, to add to the silliness of this whole thing, and it's not that big a deal. It was a pretty small tournament, stuff like that. It just got picked up by like Deserto and stuff like that because it's kind of silly. And I mean, let's face it, headlines like this get clicks and stuff when people talk about it, and everybody wants to weigh in on it. So you know what? We're going to weigh in on it. Um, what
Beautiful.
what the story was is he to make it even more ridiculous, he teabagged his own teammate's death box. It wasn't even like an opponent or anything like
Oh,
that.
jeez.
And then if we look through here, I highlighted a couple things. Yeah, so his IG name was Dilly, an 8-time Apex Predator competitive player. Part of the way through the tourney, Dilly's team won a fight against an opponent, but they lost his teammate Daft Walrus. After the skirmish, Dilly went to his teammate's death box and teabagged it. watching this unfold live, Fate Legion, who was the moderator of the tournament, said, "Yo, Dilly is disqualified. I'm not taking that at all. We're here to create a safe space for all gamers, and that kind of stuff will not be tolerated." Um, Dilly and his teammate attempted to explain that he teabagged his own teammate, but the tournament organizer, Fate Legion, stated that didn't matter. When you're in a tournament, you can't be doing that. Sportsmanship, sportsmanship, sportsmanship. How do
Oh.
how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Oh man, I mean, Jesus, dude, like, I was peak Modern Warfare 2 on consoles, man. A safe space and circa what was it, 2009 Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Like some people today would like end legit end their life with the trash talk we were doing back then. It's insane. The safe space in a game, and it's a teammate. Like, that's just I just think that's just so absurd. The fact that he got banned, and that was the response. I don't even know how to respond from that. That's just very pathetic. It's a really,
Yeah,
I think, the only word that sums it up.
my thoughts on it are: if you kill me in a video game, knock yourself out, man. Like,
Yeah.
dislocate your hips, dude. I mean, give it to me. Like, I don't care. I died. You're better than me. Whatever. I feel like trash talking in games and all that stuff is great. And honestly, I feel like sportsmanship and trash talking can coincide with each other. I think you guys, and I think esports needs this, right? Like, a lot of times if you watch UFC, there's just like so much trash talking. Everyone's trash talking and calling
Yeah.
each other names and saying they're gonna kick each other's ass and all that stuff. And then at the end, like, GG's, shake your hand, like, respect and
Right.
all that. Esports needs this stuff, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's some esports can be dry and you watch them and it's just people playing video games. But if you had these storylines of teams and trash talk and all that stuff, it would make esports so much better. And I mean, teabagging in a video game, like, that's, who cares? Now, with trash talking, I feel like there is a line that can be crossed. I feel like if you're dogging on someone's gameplay, like their in-game character or something they did in game, or like teabagging them in game, that's perfectly normal. It doesn't like it doesn't coincide with real life. It's in the game. It's like we
Mhm.
go around and we play Call of Duty and we shoot people. Do we go to jail for murder?
Yeah.
No, it's in the game. But there is a line when you start attacking someone personally. If you start attacking someone's family, if you attack something about the person that's outside of their control, about their like physical appearance or something like that,
Right.
I
Right.
think that gets shitty. But no one's doing that here. Like, debagging in a game, like, esports needs more of that, man. I think esports needs more trash talk. They need more storylines. They need more ways to get people involved. It's if it's going to support, or if it's going to succeed as an entertainment industry, like, it needs more of this controversy, I feel like.
They need some like WWE storylines going on here. Even if they don't it could all just be a work. Just like think wrestling. Like everyone's fighting with each other and behind the scenes they're all best friends. Like do something like that and make it entertaining.
Yeah, no, the only esport like that I've watched a fair amount of is the Rainbow Six Pro Leagues, and I only remember the players that talk trash. Like, I
Yeah.
remember like Fabian and like Super and Canadian, and like the guys that talk trash, and then you want to go watch and play because you want to see if they back it up. And it,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't
I mean,
know.
think Conor McGregor or something, right? If you're watching UFC, Conor McGregor talks a lot of trash, and the dude would back it up. Like regardless of what people think. I mean, it creates hype. Now, granted, like some trash talkers, okay, enough's enough. Whatever, but regardless, it's creating hype, and especially in like the fight business, right? Like boxing and MMA. I mean, someone like Conor McGregor, for example, when it comes to the pre-fight promos and stuff like that, he does a lot of trash talking, and love it or hate it, it's hiking up the pay-per-view numbers because people either A want to see if he's gonna back it up or see if he's gonna get his ass beat. That's what it comes down to.
Did you see? Speaking of this though, and UFC and everything, Patty the Batty Pimblett, he fought last weekend, and he said in his pre-fight interview that if he won, he was gonna teabag like a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. and he choked the guy out, and then he did crouch spam on top. He teabagged him
That's
until
epic.
the ref like pushed him over, but he trash talked and said he teabagged in real life. So and
Oh, that's awesome.
he didn't get disqualified. So
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I don't
see,
know. I mean,
you can even teabag in real life, guys.
yeah, I mean, a sport where you fight, like usually people aren't gonna get offended for something like you're getting hit in the face, right?
Yeah, I
It's
just
where
thought
where the men congregate is in a ring or an octagon.
yeah, I thought that was silly. I just wanted to talk about it because I think the world, to be honest, needs more teabagging. I think we need a lot of it, and esports definitely needs more stuff like that. Because I remember it, even like watching Rainbow Six Siege Pro League and stuff. Usually, everybody will type in the game chat on the broadcast. They'll type the teams will type to each other, and they'll be like, "Good
Hmm.
luck, have fun," or "GG's," or like "nice shot" or whatever. But every once in a while, they'll start talking trash in there, and it just makes the game so much better to watch. Like when they
Yeah,
start talking shit on the in-game chat. So I mean,
dude, I love it. I remember Mono like again going back to Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Like I wouldn't actively talk trash, but if people talk trash, I would go right back at them. And like back then, I was in college, so I was gaming a lot more, and I was pretty damn good at that game. So I would back it up. I was dropping like 40 kills a game in just regular TDMs and trash talking people. It was great. Like exactly, if you can back it up, I mean, it's entertaining. People want to see if you're gonna back it up or not. It's just it makes it something that everyone wants to watch.
yeah. And I don't ever want to see a world where we can't teabag or talk shit in video games like that.
Well,
I
you know
don't
what?
want to get there.
If I run for president, I'm gonna run on teabagging the world. Is I think what we need to do. Maybe
But the
buff 2024, and it'll be we're teabagging everybody. How's that?
Put that on a bumper sticker. I'd put it on.
Yeah, there you go.
Um. So yeah, I just thought silly. Again, I still do like you can call me soft or whatever. I still do think there is a line that can be crossed when you start like insulting someone's like family or like physical
Hmm.
appearance or something about them that's like out of their control. But as far as like in game and your ability and like your trash at the game, just let it absolutely fly because that's I don't know, that's another layer of the fun for me. I if I drink
Yeah.
enough bourbon and play gunfight on my Twitch stream, you're gonna hear some stuff. So I
I mean,
mean,
you've played with me when I was in that I hate everyone in this game, and some of the folks in chat who play with me regularly know how I am on death comms once in a while, but
gotta let it
it,
out.
you gotta let it out, and I'm definitely guilty. Honestly, I typically haven't teabagged much in Warzone or at all lately. What I like to do, like in Warzone, if I kill somebody, especially in solos, like all my old solo games, you guys would have seen me. I would have given, the salute after I killed someone because I know they're watching that and it just like extra pissed off. So I just give them like the salute icon or something like that after I wrecked a sweaty dude.
Yep, we definitely need that. Yeah, so I think that covers it. But more teabagging, more trash talking esports. Let's get it going.
Definitely.
It'll make it better. People will actually watch it. All right. The next thing, this is getting a little bit better. It's more our wheelhouse, maybe.
Oh
Modern
yeah.
Warfare 2 reveal was pushed back until September. I shouldn't say that. I want to retract that. That's bad journalism. I apologize. It was never really set, but there were rumblings that it was going to happen this month.
Hmm.
But Tom Henderson put an article out, and then he reiterated on Twitter that this
Right.
isn't a delay or anything. That it's actually it's always been planned for September, but there he
Hmm.
just kind of contradicted the statements of soon.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I did see that. He said it was always planned for September. So, but again, we don't really know what's going to happen within this next month leading up to that, right? Because if that's the it's he's saying it's the multiplayer reveal. Yeah, okay. So what he's saying is it was always set for September. Um, but yeah, I think we did hear some conflicting reports prior to this article today.
yeah, that they were gonna it was gonna be in August and something stuff like that. Because I think modern now this I might be getting this mistaken. Um, Modern Warfare 2 or excuse me, Modern Warfare 2019 was revealed in August, I do believe. And then
Right.
the
Yep.
last two Call of Duties, Vanguard and Cold War, they've done in September. So they're doing a
Mhm.
mixture. They're not announcing this game in Warzone allegedly like they have the last couple titles. It's going to be its own multiplayer reveal event like 2019.
Right.
But different than the 2019 reveal event, it's going to actually be in uh, September. And then I saw a lot of people. So, I mean, sometimes when people see these leaks, they absolutely take it to heart that it's written in
Right.
stone. So people were piling on Twitter like, "Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is 2042 all over again. It's getting delayed. It's only a month or it's only a few weeks before the beta. This game's
Yeah.
doomed and all that stuff." And people were, it's just not the same. I don't know. What do you think
It's
of that? Like,
definitely yeah, I don't think it's the same at all. And again, I'm looking down because I'm scrolling down on my Instagram. So the reveal for the multiplayer uh was, I think it was like August 1st, because I remember I'm looking here. I posted that teaser trailer they did where you were coming in on the Little Bird for the infill scene, July 28th of 2019. So did the trailer reveal like 2 or 3 days after that. So it would have fallen into like August 1st, essentially. I'm pretty sure is what it was. So yeah, I mean it's not that far behind, like you said. The other ones were September reveals. There's also, this is gonna be the biggest game modern for any Call of Duty game. This is going to be the top selling game. They have a lot to deliver with this. And I remember for Modern Warfare 2019, we were all getting antsy for some more gameplay and things like that during some of it was like E3 and Gamescom and all this stuff. And they were pretty much radio sound. They gave us some more information, stuff like that. But I can see, um, I just think it's a good thing that they're waiting. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm dying for another trailer or something, but we're getting a lot of leaks to kind of hold me over in the meantime. So I'm really excited to see what they actually do for the trailer, because we've also had Ralph and some other folks say like they were going to potentially do something for DMZ reveal in August. Is that still true or is that not true? Who knows? But I think September's fine. Like you said, is that too close to what's going to be the beta? Not really. I don't think so. People always argue it's not enough time to actually get feedback from the beta. It's only a month before release. But to be honest, you can only do so much with that anyways. A lot of those changes are going to be coming as day one patches or within the first month for some of that feedback. So I think really I'm okay with it. I'm just kind of excited. They're gonna give us something between now and then. So I'm excited to see what that's actually gonna be.
yeah, to go along with what you said about DMZ, it reminded me. I have a conspiracy theory that some emails went out to some creators and insiders about DMZ.
Ooh,
There was
okay.
a time on it was 2 days ago. No, it was Thursday. How many days ago that was? On Thursday, that
Okay.
uh the the guy that runs the Modern Warzone account, Doug Dagnabbit,
Yeah.
he tweeted about DMZ and how it was going to be awesome. He also tweeted from one of the Modern Warzone account that he just got an exciting email. And then
Okay.
Ghost of Hope, who is also an insider, he did some podcast with Tom Henderson. He tweeted DMZ and then the stock thing going up, the emoji with the
Okay.
graph going up. And a couple other insiders tweeted about DMZ that day and around the same time. So
Hmm.
I just feel, I don't know. And it's just probably me being like overly ridiculously excited for DMZ. But I feel like some information went out about DMZ and that embargo will lift at some point in the next couple weeks. And that
Yeah.
maybe
You're saying that I just checked my email. I didn't get anything, unfortunately.
I'm not even checking mine. I'm still probably technically considered a Battlefield YouTuber. That's definitely on the blacklist of EA. So I not even worth it. But yeah, I think we need to get Buff in on these early sessions, guys. I'm telling you. Hashtag invite Buff. Get it trending on Twitter. Go. All 26 of us. We can do it.
That's all right.
Um,
I'll show them what's up when it's out.
that's right. That's right. Um, so the other thing I was gonna say was that I wanted to talk about because I looked at that spreadsheet you showed me with all the leaks and stuff on it. I thought that was really
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
It got me excited. I was going to ask you what mode. So if we guess and we just say all the leaks from Ralph and from reality are going to be true,
hmm
what mode are you most excited for?
Definitely DMZ, hands down, because I think we're gonna really have to see. So there's definitely some of the multiplayer stuff like the hostage rescue. I'm pumped for. I want to see. I haven't seen anything confirming realism's back, but I don't know why it wouldn't be. So I'm hope if realism's back, I'm looking at the hostage rescue, realism, and then campaign is going to be awesome, but that's not really a mode. And DMZ, I'm looking forward to DMZ if it is what we're hearing over Warzone 2, because I just feel like Warzone 2 is going to continue this. I don't know. It seems like Warzone's just a game for like little babies now, and I feel like are they gonna actually gonna pivot heavily backwards, or is it still going to be a game for little babies? You know what I mean? So DMZ seems like it's going to be up my alley, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm 32. I want a game that I actually have to like think and tactically outplay some people. So that's what I'm looking forward to. 100%. I'll play that way more than Warzone 2 if it is half as good as it sounds like.
Yeah, I think I don't want to. I feel like how we jinxed Ghost Recon Frontline and how
Yeah.
I feel like my channel single handedly jinxed and ruined Battlefield 2042. Um, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, it has to be DMZ just because um I I enjoy playing Rebirth with friends.
Mhm.
I still really enjoy playing Gunfight and Call of Duty 2019 Modern Warfare. So I still play a lot of Gunfight. I feel like I still got the aim, I got the movement for playing COD. But at the same time, I'm also like level 20 something in Tarkov this wipe, so I play both games. So if it's a
Okay.
combination of both games, I feel like it's going to be right up my alley. Maybe
Right.
something that I'll be able to cover really well. And then I don't know, like if you just go under the premise and the thought process that all the modes that have been teased are going to come out and they're going to be good, then I'm
Mhm.
also excited for the hostage rescue mode. That
Yeah.
will be like Rainbow Six Siege because it sounded like from the leaks from reality there were a lot of the same uh gadgets and stuff like decoys and there was
Yep.
repelling and some of the cluster charge type stuff like Fuse has
Yeah,
and decoys,
exactly.
a lot of different gadgets from Rainbow Six.
Mhm.
And then
Cameras,
uh,
there's the cameras, right? So you're right. It's like they're taking a lot of stuff from that game for sure.
so that'll be really cool. And then I'm also really mm, I'm hoping that when they say ground war bomb, it's like Battlefield Rush mode
Yeah.
with ground war smooth. They're doing a lot of upgrades to the vehicle physics and mechanics. Also, water's going to play a big part in it with swimming and how gadgets interact with water, how vehicles interact with water. Bullets and ballistics in water would be really cool.
hmm
So yeah, I'm hopeful that the ground war bomb mode is like Rush. I think that would be really cool, even if it was like 16 versus 16 Rush.
Dude, I'm fine with that. Brings me back to the Bad Company days.
Yeah, I think that would be that's what that is. I can't I think about that often when I'm on the toilet. Like when I'm having epiphanies on the toilet. Like
Yeah.
what is I'm weird, sorry. Like what the heck is ground war bomb? Like that's because it was in the files,
It's
so like I'm
it's
always thinking
gotta
about it.
it has to be a rush type mode, right? It has to be. I don't know what else it could possibly be, because it wouldn't make sense if you're like escorting a bomb, right? It's ground war, so it has to be attacker and defender and defuse the bomb locations across the map. That's the only conclusion I can come to also.
Yep. And then to even take your excitement up another level, like Chris is saying, like where you do all the conversions in Modern Warfare, what about like the different platform families that are allegedly gonna be in Modern Warfare 2? You gotta be amped for that.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean yeah, that's not a game mode, but yeah, that's gonna keep me very very busy, and especially I mean that's the thing, right? If you look, man, even nobody said it in chat, like early Verdansk during the pandemic days, where I was rocking conversions. I was also doing well, that's when I started doing some of the Warzone gameplay videos, like how to win games, things like that. And like those were all solos for the most part. And like that's where I was able, outsmart players, slow play, out tactically position myself using way off meta guns. So if you look at that's what Warzone used to be. Look at Warzone now, right? Everyone's stemming, sliding 30 yards, doing backflips, blah, 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 crazy stuff. And you look at DMZ, if they make that mode more grounded and you have all these awesome conversions in different platforms that you can make, like Chris mentioned, it's gonna be crazy, man. Because not only are you gonna be able to play a more tactical, slower paced game mode that is extraction based, so there's not like a one winner, but you can bring in these crazy builds, and there should always be something new each game, and you should be able to make it very unique for yourself with the amount of customization it seems like we're gonna have. So hopefully we're not gonna be seeing people with like monos, VLK, commando, foregrips, longest barrels, 60 round mag in every game. It seems like there's going to be even more customization. So you should be able to ramp that up and get really creative. And that's what I'm looking forward to, bringing stuff like that into DMZ.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope they have it's fine enough tuning of the attachments like they're talking about that
Hmm.
it gives you that opportunity to not have one single meta. Like
Right.
honestly, like right now where I play Rebirth, like I had to hop into Vanguard to level up guns because I just wanted. I have a few friends that I really enjoy playing with, and about all they play is
Hmm.
Rebirth. So like I'm kind of not forced to play it, but like if I want to hang out with those friends, we're gonna play Rebirth.
Right.
And it's like it's NZ41 and like the Blixen or like Type 100, and that's what you use, and everybody uses the exact same attachments. There's a
Yeah.
website where you can look up the COD meta. It takes
Right.
the API stuff, and you can see what attachments everybody's using. It's like all the
Hmm.
same. So
See, I just
yeah,
hate that. It just ruins the. It just from my mindset is like the reason I was doing the videos and playing how I play is I would never want to use something everybody else is using. That's just so boring to me. I wouldn't want to do that. Where's the? I guess how is that's not challenging if you're using something that's broken and everyone else is using it. So it's like if in my mind, if I'm a good player, I should be able to win games with stuff that no one's touching, which is, the whole mindset behind those builds and the gameplay videos I was doing. So that's kind of my perspective, and
yeah.
that seems more like what DMZ will be built for.
So I have a couple of thoughts on that. One is having meta weapons and you only use like everybody's only using one or two different guns is no
Hmm.
different than like Battlefield having a few guns in the game total. You can say, "Oh,
Yeah,
Call of Duty has hundreds of guns; it's so awesome," but it doesn't matter because everybody
no one
uses the
uses.
same
Yeah,
few.
yeah.
And the other thing is, I get why that happens, and I think it's because of skill-based matchmaking. You used
Hmm.
to be able to pick silly guns, go around, meme around, use throwing knives and all
Hmm.
that stuff, and be silly, akimbo, whatever, and like riot shields and stuff. But like if you start to win games, the skill based matchmaking puts you against people that are your same level, no matter how much better you get. And pretty soon
Right.
you're gonna get in lobbies where everybody's using the meta stuff, and it feels like it might not be, and some of your videos have opened my eyes to that, but it feels like, man, I might have lost that fight because I wasn't using the meta gun, and then it makes you like want to use that, and like then you have to use the meta, or you feel like you have to use the meta stuff to
Right.
win. And I think
I
skill
mean,
based matchmaking jacks that up, man.
I agree, and I mean, it used to be easy for me to get those gameplays back in the day, and anything probably the past year and a half is the gameplay you be seeing in those videos is that one odd duck gameplay. Like everything else is just I'm getting completely shit on by meta weapons usually. So it's definitely it got to a point. There was a point there where I couldn't do Warzone videos for so long because I couldn't get any. There was zero. I couldn't get gameplay at all because it was just the sweatiest game lobbies ever. I have like screenshots on my desktop still of like Warzone GG where I'm just in like the most ridiculous lobbies consistently for like my hours and hours of play sessions. It just doesn't make sense. And again, I'm running like I'm probably one of like four people in the whole game that ever run a scar. You know what I mean? So it's like, give me a break.
Yeah, like if you go and to look at the loadout.gg or whatever that website is and to find a
Hmm.
scar, you're gonna be scrolling for a while.
The bottom
If
of
you
the list probably, and like with the
Yeah,
Rytech too. I run like a Rytech also. Like no one's running that stuff. So it's just crazy.
yeah. So The other thing I hope they do is tone down skill-based matchmaking so we can use some silly guns and chill and
Right.
play, but I don't think they will. Yeah. They have the matchmaking is so complicated now with all the algorithms and stuff to keep you playing. I did that video where I talked about the patent that suggests that Battlefield was QA
Right.
tested by bots. Well, I found some Activision ones too, and even some EA ones that go into like the algorithm of how they match make you to keep you playing. They see like
Mm-hmm.
where you placed in the last match, how likely you are to leave, and what it would take to
Mm-hmm.
keep you in the game, and it adjusts accordingly. So, like if
Yeah.
you're someone like me who plays to win, I'm too competitive to like lose on purpose to sandbag or to D rank or whatever.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I am excited for some of those modes, like the more tactical modes. I definitely want to try to get a crew of people to play Search and Destroy together. That play together regularly. Get a stack of Search and Destroy. I think would be cool. And then I'm definitely looking forward to Gunfight because I'm still playing Gunfight. I can say with confidence I'm like a top 5 Gunfight player, age 35 and over, mouse and keyboard. I feel
You are
I feel like
good. You are good. You're carrying me when we were playing.
Like,
What was it?
I
Like
have to
last
say
month.
that. Yeah, I never really stopped playing that mode. It's so fun because it takes out a lot of the BS and, like, it makes you use off meta guns, right? But everybody's using the same one, so, like, you'll get random weird guns, in Gunfight, and you have to use them,
Mhm.
and so do they. So it's pretty cool. I'm glad that that's rumored to be coming back because we playing quite a bit of that.
Yeah, and I just we were just kind of I saw it coming up in chat about realism royale, and like as much as I hate Warzone now, and as bad as it was with meta, even back in Verdansk, realism royale like changed all that. So I know you unfortunately never played it, but it's amazing what little HUD and no minimap does to that game. Because you don't weren't forced to run suppressors because there's no minimap. People were running the craziest stuff. That was the only time I've seen people run off stuff, and you could do anything because you any all the sweaty players that run meta like they rely on a specific set of information to be fed to them in the game also because most of them are not good players. They're trying to use the best weapon they can. So when you take away a lot of the HUD, you take away the mini map, it's a completely different game. So, man, I hope what we've talked about in previous episodes. For DMZ, I hope they refine the movement system so it's different than core multiplayer, and I hope it's limited HUD, which a lot of things we're hearing very well maybe, but in my mind, just eliminating the HUD and minimap makes a huge difference, even if the movement is not changed. People play completely differently. So hope they do something like that. And man, gonna make a lot of fun videos for that. I'll be playing the
Yeah.
heck out of that game.
With the DMZ movement, with they've rumored to have it like a backpack system. I hope that
Hmm.
does affect like your movement speed and stuff. I don't think I want inertia like Tarkov or PUBG have, where it's like
No, not that
really
crazy.
rough. Not that crazy, but just like the difference in movement speed between an SMG and like an LMG in multiplayer. Like you
Right.
can feel the difference. I hope that's the case, and it has to do with how
Hmm.
much stuff's in your backpack, what kind of armor, if you go like heavy or light armor. World War
Right.
Three ever come out with that effing game. World War Three does a really good job of it. You can in your loadout you can pick your armor and it affects your movement speed quite a bit. So I hope they do something like that with DMD. It's cool to have those decisions to make, right? Like, do I want to be a heavy tank but I can't move much, or do I want to try to use my movement to my advantage and be light? Like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's what we've talked about, and that's what I've always preached over here is like there needs to be pros and cons to your play style and your weapons you're choosing. If you're just able to pick the best of everything and have no downsides, and that's poor game development or gameplay mechanics, whatever you want to call it. Like I mean, everybody just gets the best of everything, and there's no negatives to that. That's just crazy. So I'm sure we'll get into stuff about maybe potentially a point system to pick stuff in future shows, and we've touched on it in the past too. But um, I really hope they're gonna solve that problem. If not just for like the core multiplayer, at least for like a mode like DMZ, I think uh it needs to be built a little bit differently as far as in-game mechanics and how you load out and all that stuff.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like, I hope they're not scared to innovate and make it its own mode. Stray away from COD a little bit
Exactly.
because yeah, there's none of that decision making right now. You Google meta loadout, they're all the same. You pick one, you put those attachments on, and you run it. Like
Yeah.
if you want to be competitive, and I don't necessarily 100% blame the players in the community because skill based matchmaking makes it to where you have to sweat your ass off with the best guns just to try to win. Like every
But you know
game.
what's crazy? I've played like I think once, maybe in the past 2 or 3 weeks, maybe twice. Um, and I was running the Fin LMG with just the longest base barrel, so it wasn't an adverse barrel, mono suppressor, 100 round belt, and I was running like an Elcan on there with a T-pose reticle, and I think a commando for. So this is a gun that nobody in the game has probably like ever used besides a handful of people in the chat right now, and just was shitting on kids running meta stuff at long range. It just, and again, that goes to show like creativity with loadouts, kind of knowing how to build your weapons, as well as just having the wherewithal to like know how to handle engagement. So that's the one redeeming factor of Fortune's Keep is I have been able to outplay a lot of meta players for the most part. I've had more luck on Fortune's Keep than I have in anything Warzone in like the past 2 years. So that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think Fortune's Keep is a little bit more position heavy.
Yeah,
Like that
it
the
is.
tactics and positioning is more important.
Hmm.
But so yeah, I think that covers that. I don't think overall to sum up the actual topic. I know we didn't talk about it too much, but um
Yeah,
I don't think
we got
there's
in the weeds,
we
but yeah.
sorry guys, we got sidetracked. It happens when we're talking about that game. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason to worry about an September reveal. I believe if that's when the reveal is, it was probably planned that way the whole
Hmm.
time. Like the last two COD games have done that. I think the reason they
Hmm.
could be doing that is because um, there's kind of a weird lull sometimes when they announce everything, and then you have to wait for the beta and wait for the beta. So I think they're getting rid of that. They're going to play off the hype, get people to pre-order. They're going to do the multiplayer reveal, get everybody hype, go right into the it's beta, it's a demo, the beta, and then just go
Right,
right into
right.
that to get people to pre-order because they want to play the beta off that hype train.
Yeah. And I'm curious if there's gonna be an alpha. I know we didn't touch on that. So the multiplayer reveal in September, there was an alpha in August for 2019, but that's probably not gonna be the case here. Yeah, we'll have to see what the timeline looks like, but I'm gonna believe in what Tom says. If it was always planned for September, just like the actual reveal was June, and that's what he said. So nothing's been delayed or pushed back. So I'm gonna believe him because he's kind of been the best source of information for anything like news related with games that you're not getting the you're not getting the PR from all that stuff. So he's been very very accurate. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna believe what he's saying.
Yeah, and it just needs to be said that it's not a beta in the sense that we think betas have been in other games and in like early access titles. This is a playtest. The game already has been checked by QA testers and stuff like that for features, and it's
Right.
pretty nailed down. They're gonna get networking feedback, engine stuff, and
Hmm.
see how it runs with a lot of people playing it. But it's not it's not a traditional beta. It's a gameplay demo. It's also a marketing tool to get people excited to pre.
Right.
That's how that's going.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just a demo.
So all right, is it time for
It's
the
time, man. All right.
quick
I got
shots,
the
baby?
audio. I
Yeah,
got
you're
the
ready.
audio this time. There we
We're
go.
in it. We're doing it. All right. Yeah, so quick shots for those of you that are new here. Part of the show where we talk about news stories, shorter ones. There's just a few this time. Stuff that doesn't warrant like a super long conversation, but stuff that's definitely worth mentioning. The other thing you guys can see on the topics list, the last thing we're going to talk about, if we have time, which we will have time, chat Q&A. So that's questions from you guys at the end. Again, I always look forward to that.
Oh
I
yeah.
love hearing from you guys. So awesome questions. So if you have questions, that's definitely a time. Type them in and we'll answer those. There's just a couple quick shot things that I wanted to talk about. The first one is this is we talked a little bit about esports today. I guess we're technically a first person show, so we talk about esports. That FaZe Clan went public as the first esports and gamer lifestyle brand on Nasdaq, and I feel like a lot of us around here are boomers and think this is kind of silly. But
Mhm.
I thought it was interesting and worth talking about. And again, with everything that we talk about, this is not financial advice, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to go out and purchase FaZe Clan stock by any means, but I just thought it was interesting the way the gaming culture is moving to this influencer and esports lifestyle. It's getting big enough to actually hit the stock market. I guess the one piece of advice that I've learned in the minor amount of investing I've done, I guess I could kind of be a dad figure here. Don't invest money that you need that you're not okay with losing, because
Yeah.
it's not a sure thing by any means. So I would just put that out there for my only actual investing advice. If that's money that you can't stand to do without, don't invest it. That's what I think,
Right.
because you could lose everything. But
Exactly.
so for me looking over this, I thought overall it sounds kind of weird. So they're one of the things they did that sounded kind of shady is to get themselves publicly for their initial offering, their IPO, is they did what's called an SPAC merger, and I didn't know what that was, but essentially it's like, the way I take it, somebody smarter than me can correct me in the comments or in chat, but it's like where they allow themselves to be quote unquote purchased by a shell company that is then able to trade it and put it on. So the company that's actually traded under the phase tag is not actual phase clan. It's like they merged with this shell company that's only purpose was to get it on. And a lot of people think those are sketchy and they haven't done them. They're not as common as they used to be because they usually don't do very well. And then initially, I just don't have a good feeling about it. It's not something I would invest in. Again, not financial advice, because the volume was really low on it. And if you guys saw the initial day, like they started out offering it around $13 and it dropped all the way to $9.
Right.
And then it popped up today actually quite a bit. And then I can't, the picture is goofy on the article. I can't tell if it's an esports team or a boy band. But it popped up today, but a lot of people like looking on Seeking Alpha and Bloomberg and stuff, they think it's a squeeze by like insiders because the volume is so low that they can actually manipulate the price by buying their own shares and stuff like that. Squeeze, like investors get together to like do a pump and dump thing. So
Right.
it's weird. The other thing that I saw in this article on VentureBeat, I think I highlighted it. Yeah, at the bottom, they amended their SEC filing on April 29th. They said it was revising its forecast down, where the company reported a 36.9 million net loss on revenues of 52.9 million in 2021. It was fourth in Forbes list of the top 10 esports companies. So this isn't even the top esports company, and they went public. And I just overall don't have a good feeling about it. He hasn't made content in a while, but Devin Nash, I don't know if you've ever watched his stuff. He covers like the business side. He's really smart. He has a bunch of companies. Covers the business side of esports and content creation and
Okay.
stuff like that. And he always talked about. He also was the CEO of CLG Gaming, and he built that esports org and sold it for a lot of money. But he always talked about how esports orgs like really generally lose a lot of money because they have to make their money off sponsorships. Like they
Right.
compete for winnings, but they don't really win that much. He said one of the only esports orgs to make money is 100 Thieves because of their clothing. They're basically a
Right.
clothing brand more than they are esports. So it's just, I don't know, man. I get weird vibes about investing in something like that. Between the SPAC merger, how they're kind of doing a sketchy, like looking pump and dump based on volume with the squeeze today. And I don't know, esports orgs, I don't know about investing in them. I don't feel like they're money making thing.
Yeah, I really don't even know what to we'll have to see what happens. I'm not investing in it, that's for sure. but but we'll see what happens. I do remember when the market went live and I did see the drop right off the bat. But you're saying it maybe came up today. Um we'll have to see what happens. I think a lot of it I'm curious to see how it trends during like um you know Modern Warfare 2's release. Like Phase is primarily like a mostly, in my opinion, known for like Call of Duty stuff. So I'm curious if it'll revolve around Activision stock and how the games are doing, things like that, and when you get into CDL competitiveness for things. Have to see
Yeah.
what happens with that.
Yep. So there's the stock price. I pulled it up. They had the
Okay.
crazy like in after hours trading last night. It popped up a bunch. Somebody bought,
Okay.
they moved like 7 million shares or something like that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Um,
Jeez.
but it's not back up to its IPO yet.
Mm,
But yeah, I just don't see how they make money, right? Like you invest in tech, they make a product, you invest in energy, they're supplying a
right.
utility. There's the pharmaceutical sector who are providing a product, and it's like a lot of these companies that you normally invest in, you can look at what they do and the
Yeah.
product they provide. This is a little more fluid than that. I'm not sure. They have their clothing, they
Yeah.
have their branding, they have their sponsorships, and it just I don't know. I guess there are other companies that are kind of like that, like media. I guess it could be considered kind of a new kind of uh,
Yeah. I can see that.
media company and stuff like that. But
I can definitely see that. Even if even if they were like, I can see like a phase network or something down the road. Like, who knows? Who knows
yeah,
what they could. I think that they definitely have a lot of potential to grow the brand, especially based on who wants to invest. So it'd be interesting to see kind of where this does end up going.
yeah,
It's by the end of the year, especially. I'm curious to see where they're at.
yep. It might not be like super interesting to people, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit because it's just kind of an industry thing that you could see like more content creation type stuff get big
Right.
enough to go public as like the shift from traditional broadcast media shifts to kind of online stuff like that.
Hmm.
I think it's something cool to look at. All right, it's time for the next quick shot, baby. The next thing I wanted to talk about is much more in your wheelhouse because you did a video on it that I watched and enjoyed. But
All right.
I need some more details from you. So, uh,
Nice.
why was this in the news? We're going to talk about direct contact, which I think is in a lot of people's wheelhouses that watch our channels. Um, yeah. So, what's the scoop on this thing?
Yeah, direct contact. I did a video on it the other night, and this is something Justin, I'm not sure if he's still in chat, but he kind of brought to my attention end of last year sometime there. When Glid Gaming is a YouTube channel who has hands on with it, and they're all like ex-military, and they run through it and do like tactical gameplay scenarios too. Um, and I remember watching it, and I was just, holy crap, this is mind blowing. They're running on Unreal Engine 4. They might be upgrading to 5. I don't know. I thought I saw Glid Gaming with an Unreal Engine 5 video title for it. But they have their own channel. It's developed by one dude, I think it is. Over at Direct Contact's YouTube channel, you can check them out. And then Glid Gaming does it. Like I said, they do a lot of like tactical playthroughs with the scenarios. But the game looks, I mean, you can see the gameplay in the background. It visually looks extremely impressive, and this is a modern military tactical shooter. It's meant to be similar to like a ground branch, but obviously scaled up, times 10. The maps are large. um it just looks it looks, ooh, I need a Hungry Man XXL. It looks great. So
You see
this
what
is
kind
like
of
the
ads I get?
yeah,
The food.
this is the game that I have always wanted. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna need to like upgrade the PC for this one, but it's awesome because you can customize your character, customize your weapons, and it's all they're it's all ex-military given input on this. So everything is pretty much to the T for the real world. You can call in airstrikes, which you're going to see there, and I think it's all like photogram. They're using very realistic lighting and everything for the explosions. I think it's photogrammetry. I'm not sure. You can check it out on the video um, for the dev blogs that they have going on there as well. It is up for Steam for you can add it to your favorites, and I think you can buy it. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's gonna go to early access in February. But the airstrikes look amazing. You can call in like different types of fighters. You can select what fighter you want to come in, whether it's an F-18, A-10, and you can select the ordnance you want them to drop on the target. So there's a lot of cool stuff here, and I know we talked about some of the mechanics from Frontline earlier. Like in this, you can basically arrest, interrogate, things things just like that. Um, this game looks like it has a lot of potential, and I'm really hoping when this does reach like the final build on PC, I would love, the console market for this type of game would explode. This is what console players are dying for, is this type of game. So I'm definitely gonna be checking it out on PC. Um, and it was cool. The official YouTube page, the developer did comment on my video also last night,
Oh,
which was
cool.
really cool to see. So, but yeah, the game looks so good, and he's got the dev blogs over up on his YouTube channel, walking through it, showing. He runs through in one of them. He runs through like the shoot house, which would be like your tutorial. I want to test my guns and run through the shoot house and shoot the targets. It's timed. Do you see how many hits and versus civilians you hit? Things like that. So this game has like a little bit of everything, and this is something I would. You can play co-op, you can play multiplayer, solo, whatever you want to do. This is going to be one of those games that I'm going to love because you can just communicate with your team. I mean, if you and I were playing and two other people, however many, I think it's 4 man, just the communication, right? I mean, that's what I think we love about watching Ground Branch is in those other games. It's just like the communication because this is a realistic shooter, so you need to communicate and you need to play tactically, and I love that teamwork and communication aspect of these types of games.
Yep, it looks really cool. So what are the game modes like? Like, are you just going in? Is it like hostage situations,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Ready
it's
or
like
Not or something?
yeah, it's like very similar to like kind of like Ready or Not, but like scaled up. So if you check out you guys check out like Glid Gaming, GLID on YouTube, they have a lot of like real Marines play, and then it'll be, direct contact, and they'll show like full on missions. So there'll be like intel, and there's like an HVT or intel that you need to capture in a safe house, and you dropped off via helicopter, and you need to get to you're dropped off outside the location. You need to get into the location you're trying to either get the HVT, the hostage, the intel, etc., and get that and then extract. So that's what I've seen so far. I'm guessing there'll probably be some more stuff down the road, but yeah, I mean it's right up your alley for sure.
Yeah, the volumetric lighting is really cool. It's showing up there.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And then yeah, I do like if I'm playing like Devil's Advocate a little bit, I do see a lot of similarities between the other Unreal 4 games. I think it uses a lot of the
Hmm.
same like assets, like the guns and scopes, and like the movement looks like it hasn't been tweaked very much from like how a lot of those Unreal 4 games are. But yeah, if he puts all that stuff together, um yeah, definitely commendable. One person putting this all together,
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to see what it does in Unreal 5 too. Um
Yeah, if they can update this thing, I mean, this thing, I think this game has a lot of stay power too. Like if they do upgrade the engine, and and if this were to eventually come to consoles, because Unreal Engine definitely can be used for console development. So I feel like because it's on a good engine like Unreal, it'd be easier to bring over to the console market too.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like kind of a downer in this situation. I don't think games like this are probably going to make it to consoles, just my opinion. But
I don't think
just
so either, but I
because like
wishful thinking.
right, just because like one person having to get it through, because like all the updates have to be okay through Microsoft and PlayStation before they'll allow it to go, and everything has to get
Hmm.
tested and vetted. And for one person to handle three different platforms, like I don't know. I feel like if I don't want to be a jerk, but like if you like this kind of tactical indie development hardcore shooter, you should probably save up and try to build a PC.
I know that's the
That's
downside, man.
that's where they're all going to be. I think that's where you're going to play them first, and I'm afraid that some of them aren't going to make it over. Like where you have like World War III. I mean, honestly, the only one to make it over is like Insurgency Sandstorm, right? And they have a pretty big team.
Sandstorm, and Hell Let Loose. Yeah, I think are the only two so far.
Yeah, because you don't have like Tarkov, Ground Branch, Ready or Not. Um, a lot of those Arma. Oh, Arma now.
Arma, yeah,
Um,
and to be fair, a lot of those ones you listed are still like pretty early access, I think, right? But that's the thing is like when it were to reach its end state, which could be 5+ years down the road, then it would be like, okay, let's have the conversation of can we get this to console? But like you said, it's definitely a long shot. Probably not realistic to say this would be coming to console at least anytime soon. Maybe the next generation would be easily able to play PC titles. Who knows? But
yeah.
yeah, definitely a bummer.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I hope it does. I want everybody
Yeah.
to be able to play them. And yeah, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to PC master race people. I just I just think that it's going to be a while before these games get.
I think so too. Luckily, I've got, I know I'll upgrade my computer. I'll get another one if I need to play this and some of the other ones, because I think my streaming PC's about hit its limit for what I can play. But yeah, for this thing, I definitely want to get some hands on with this and play with some buddies. This would be right up my alley. And again, I
Well,
don't really care for like graphic wise and stuff. Yeah, I'm not a big graphics person. As long I'm more of a gameplay, and if this to me would have a lot of replayability because you can approach every scenario differently, and just how you work it with your buddies just makes it, it's not only would be fun to play, but it'd be fun to play with your friends, right? So that's kind of what I would love to do with this.
agreed. Yeah, that sums that up. Looking forward to that. I need to get more into those games. I like Insurgency a lot on PC. I need to try some of those. I need to try Ready or Not and Ground Branch. Some of those.
Same,
I like
same.
Squad a lot. Um, I just need to play more. I need to play with some folks that maybe I can find some guys on your Discord and we can get a group together that plays more of those milsim games. I'd like to try them, but I don't know how much fun it would be.
I need to do it, and the problem is I just like suck at mouse and keyboard, and it's also a huge hassle to like set up and record for me. But I gotta get it together and start doing it for sure.
Yeah, and if you have any M.2 compatibility questions, I'm an expert now, so
Yeah,
just hit me
you,
up.
you got me covered.
Oh man. All right, so the next thing, the last quick shot that I had, guys, get your questions ready. The next one I had was you have to play that first. Just to get a quick little chat about Apex Legends. It is still a first person shooter, so I wanted to talk about it. Not necessarily so much. There's a new legend that's being teased. Again, this is one of the few. Even if you don't like the game, it's a pretty impressive case study on a live service that actually works and people play and they have content. It's really crazy. That's
Go
why
figure.
that's why Vince Zampella might be in charge of Battlefield now. But the lore's kind of all right. It's cool. It fits in. The game actually plays really well. It's like from a design standpoint, even if you don't really like the setting and stuff like that, it is an incredibly solid
Oh
shooter.
yeah, hundred
Um,
percent.
the thing I really wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting, I saw an article. I forgot to pull it up because I'm a bad journalist. My production team is dog shit. They're looking for producers and stuff to make a single player campaign. So they're looking to hire people at Respawn to allegedly work on a single player game campaign in this universe. And honestly, a little bummed. Would rather be Titanfall. Like
Oh yeah.
I want Titanfall stuff back. Like that was such a good game. I feel like that was a game with such a solid foundation. Campaign was amazing in that. Like a continuation of the Titanfall 2 campaign would be what I would rather have. But um, yeah, so I feel like there's a trend. We have Vince, it's all related, right? So this is all under the EA banner. You have Vince Zampella that runs Respawn, and now Vince Zampella is like the overall GM of Battlefield, and you have a studio opening in Seattle. That's going to do a Battlefield campaign, standalone campaign, and now you have them looking for a Respawn standalone campaign produced. So
Hmm.
it's like there's like a shift of these shooter games making single player campaign
Isn't
standalone
this the
games.
same company that just tweeted how bad single player games were and canned bunch of their development studios that made excellent single player games? Just saying.
Yeah, this is that there was a lot of controversy about that. They tweeted like they tried to do the she's a 10 meme. It said she's a 10 but she only plays single player games.
They got everyone loved that tweet.
Yeah, it didn't go well. I actually tweeted. So what I did in response to that tweet was I took YouTube search volume from Google Trends and plotted Elden Ring, a single player game, and then Battlefield 2042, which was like 1%, and I just replied with that screenshot. Um, later, I think they tried like the way they worded it, people were like already tilted off the planet. But
Yeah.
what they were trying to say, they tried to explain it later. Like if you have to explain a tweet to this extent, it
They
wasn't a
they
good tweet.
they definitely weren't trying. They were doing damage control is what it
Yeah,
was.
they said that they were saying she only plays single player means she won't play with you. She's a 10, but she only plays single player games. So she's not going to game with you. but that's like not how the meme works. Like
Yeah,
totally went over.
damage control
It's
hardcore.
they totally missed it. Yeah, Vincent Pellet roasted that tweet and everything. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about the Apex. There's still this is I think the new legend or operator for season 14. They're on season 14.
Wow, look, that's
And
crazy.
the game has still not showed any signs of losing players. It's still the people who say battle royales are dead, like it still grows every season.
Yeah,
It's even
that's
got an arena
impressive.
mode. Even got arena mode, which is really cool. And it just makes you think that they're probably not going to be making Titanfall 3 anytime soon. Um, because this is doing so
Unfortunately,
well. But it is a live service that does apparently, I mean, have enough content to keep people excited, but around a battle royale instead of a multiplayer
mm,
game. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the if you think there's a movement or there's going to be a push for more campaign standalones rather than part of another game,
yeah.
and how that would make you feel. How do you like? How does you like single player campaigns, or are they?
If they're done, if they're done well, I think we talked about this a little bit last time. The Last of Us, dude. I loved the first Last of Us was one that I was addicted to like crack. And then just other like I don't play much. I don't play much outside of FPS, but when I do, that was a good one. And then like the old Medal of Honor 2010, Medal of Honor Warfighter, some of the Modern Warfare campaigns were great. But I think like Medal of Honor Warfighter was probably one of the not one of it was the very best first person shooter campaign I've ever played in my entire life. And I still go back and play that once in a while every few years. That game, they crushed the single player with that. Um, it's a shame we don't get any more Medal of Honor, but yeah, like I definitely appreciate a good campaign.
Agreed. So no, I think that's most of a show. Chat Q&A if you got a little bit of time.
Oh
Um,
yeah, let's do it.
yeah, if anybody has any questions in chat, they would like to talk about, go ahead and hit us up. Anything's comments. I know there were some really good questions, but we were kind of on a roll, and
We were.
sometimes it's hard to stop. I worry so much about the podcast listener. Hope they're okay.
We
Like to
love you,
keep it.
podcast listener.
We love you. Shout out. I just like to keep it on a roll for the podcast listeners, so they get a nice experience.
And a man named Nobody says they're actually shooting the Last of Us series around like a block from where he lives. I'm pumped for that show. So if anyone didn't know, The Last of Us, the game, HBO bought the rights for to produce the show, and I have to say, I have HBO Max, and HBO Max, like their original series, crushing it. It's so much endless, amazing content. If you guys like watch streaming services, HBO Max, their original shows are just amazing. So I'm pumped for The Last of Us. The game itself was like a movie that you got to play through. So I hope they follow it basically to a T because that story you can't get any better than the story the original game did.
Anytime people talk about streaming services, I just watched the South Park Streaming Wars Part 1 and 2. So
Oh, I need to
they
watch
did the
it.
pandemic special and the vaccine special, and then now they did a streaming wars one. And now every time someone talks about that, I just think of South Park and it makes me laugh.
That's amazing.
It's really funny. Edward asked, "Did you pair with Crash in games?" Actually not, Edward. We found each other's content, and then I had Buff on as a guest, for the on the scope at a time where I was kind of looking for a co-host, and yeah, I asked him, and he said yes.
I did. I did. Yeah. Well, we have played a bit together too, for sure. Um, so you've seen my ranty Warzone moodiness also.
I can
But
relate.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Man named Nobody, AK reload over the top or underneath? Definitely underneath, 100%. Uh, underneath or bust.
Not an AK fan. I'm probably gonna get canceled for that. Like
Yeah.
IRL shooting them. I don't. Um.
AK for life.
Uh. Liberation asked other any thoughts on the day before. Yeah, like I typed in chat. I kind of think it's a scam. We talked about it a few episodes ago.
We did,
And
yeah.
then so we only see like pre-rendered trailers and stuff of that game. And if you guys don't know, it's an incredibly gorgeous looking game. I hesitate to call it a game because I think it's just a rendered like. But um, then we found out later on that a lot of the developers working on it are volunteers and they pay them in like Amazon gift cards and like stuff like that. So it's just like to something that ambitious looking like the scenes and trailers that we saw, and then it got delayed a year, and then we found out that the people working on it are volunteers, and then the head developer producer tried to defend that it's okay for people to work for free. I just don't feel good about it. So I've it's kind of out of my
Yeah,
head right now. I hope
we'll have to
I
see
hope
what
it
happens
happens.
with that one. Who knows? I agree. We haven't really have we actually seen gameplay? We'll have to we'll have to see.
They had some like gameplay menus and stuff in there, I think, but like I think they just really caught people off guard by like the over the top Unreal Engine stuff. Like they really went all out with the lighting and everything, and it looks like an Unreal Engine demo. Like they show you the
Hmm.
Matrix demo or whatever that they had on PS5 that got people excited.
Right.
A 1v1 Crash vs Buff and COD gunfight, who would win? And I don't know. We just
De-
have to find out, I guess. Uh,
definitely you. Definitely you.
I don't
I'm
know.
I'm not a great one v one, and you're better at gunfight. I don't think I would.
How are you on the map Rust though? Like where the traditional 1v1s go down on Rust.
Oh, terrible, dude.
Okay.
I was never like a 1v1 player, to be honest.
I'm
I know
dog shit on that map.
are you? Yeah, I mean, I was never like in Modern Warfare 2 was never like on the 1v1 train where we were like, "Oh yeah, you want to 1v1 me?" Never did that. But I was playing with one of my mods, Odin, 1v1, and I think we split games. I beat him, he beat me. But yeah, Odin, he was wearing that what was the someone in chat, what skin was he using for Shadow Company? The Vakin or whatever that guy's name is scared the crap out of me. Like the scariest thing ever. I kind of have like PTSD for 1v1 and after that because he was wearing that you know that Shadow Company dude with the mask. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but scared the crap out of me, dude. So I like have PTSD for 1v1 now. Just like Odin, here comes Odin with that skin on. It's just terrifying.
Yeah.
Not
I
good.
I can't handle Rust. I think because there's too many spots for people, and like with all like the pipes and the venting and the trusses and all the stuff frame and
Yeah.
everything, I can't see people, and I just destroyed on that map even in gunfight. But I have my moments. I'm really streaky in gunfight. Like sometimes I can't hit my ass with a scoop shovel, and sometimes I the gun just goes where my eyes look, and it's great. And I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't. I need to talk to a sports psychologist or something. How do I make myself like the latter more often? Like sometimes when I'm playing games, my eyes look at something on the screen and my hand on
Yeah.
the mouse just immediately goes there and it's like easy and everything's great. And then sometimes, like the other night in Rainbow Six Siege, guys, I was gold one. I was 2 games from plat. So excited to maybe get back to platinum. We lost so many games. I couldn't hit my ass. We dropped all the way to silver 2, all the way down through gold,
Oh no.
all the way through silver 1.
Dude,
And it's
there's
just like
been
couldn't hit anything.
that's the worst. And there's been I can relate to that. There's been times in like Warzone where I'm just like something happens and I don't think and I react. I mean, it's what is that from if anyone's seen the Last Samurai, like too many mind is what the samurai tells Tom Cruise's character, basically meaning you're thinking too much. Just you need to natural instinct. So like, there's been some situations in Warzone where like just instinctively I've done some things and my reaction would be like, what the hell did I just do? Because it was just like stupid, crazy stuff that like maybe I would have been able to do like 10 plus years ago, but just like once in a while, I'd have my crazy like CDL moments in games.
Yeah, I have a couple of them recorded. Right. Sometimes if I'm feeling down, I just go watch clips. I did good.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
trying. I'm trying to see how like how if I can stay good and work on my reflexes as someone who's 35 and aging. I'm hoping like I can handle getting older and still be competitive. I'm trying really hard to hang on to my reflexes and like do
See,
training and stuff.
I don't get that. I like so everyone always says that, but I don't really notice it, to be honest. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
there
why. I've never been like, man, I'm like slower reacting than I used to be. It's just like I play differently for sure, but I can
I feel
still react when I need
I feel like it's sometimes I feel slower, but that's probably because of bourbon, more than
to.
age. But in my obsession with figuring this out, I did look online and find out that there's a they did a bunch of testing to see how much you lose, and every 10
Mhm.
years it's like a few milliseconds that you
Yeah,
actually
so
lose. So
it's like
it's
negligible.
yeah, it's like less than the fluctuation and ping of the server. So it's in our
Right.
heads, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be destroying kids well into my 40s. It's gonna be fine. I'm
Can I
fine.
can I just can I just say, like, when I was in college, and this is not advocating anybody do this, but Battlefield 3, college, I would not all the time, but if Saturday night I'm not out doing anything, I'd get myself like a 6 pack of Guinness, pack a few bowls, and go to and like do all that, and I'd still be crushed. Like I would like the best Battlefield player on the planet. We're talking just like out of control, just
That's
under
awesome.
all the influence for sure. But
There is definitely something that I refer to as opal, which is optimum performance alcohol level. And if you hit opal and you drink the right amount, I can't be beat. But
I
to be
agree.
clear,
I
guys,
agree.
when you go past opal, there's no getting back. Like there's it's done. You're done.
Rapid downhill. Rapid
Yeah, you never
downhill.
get
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Done
Uh,
that before too.
Nobody asks bad lever or just a bolt release. Man, I would have to go bolt release. Dude, I don't think I could get used to a bad lever, and those sketch me out being by the trigger. I don't know. I feel like I could bump that and just drop my mag, like before I wanted to. I know
Yeah.
they're not that easy to hit, and they're probably out of the way. But like I have giant sausage fingers, and there's like, no, I just want to slap the side. And of
Especially
course,
if you're running some gloves too, right? If you got some big fat shooting gloves on there, who
yeah,
knows?
I don't like them, and I'm also left-handed, so shit's weird for me, and I've learned to adapt anyway. So like the mag release is on this side anyway, so I don't feel like it works that bad or for and everything. Like I flip it this way, thumb pull the mag, new hand on forearm, slap the side, and I'm all right. But I
Mhm.
don't want anything I don't want anything else. And then hand stop foregrip or rail guards. I'm fine with rail guards. I don't know who makes them. Like if you have a quad rail, they UTG makes them. They're like they're on my 223 AR. They flip on the rail so they feel good on your hands. They don't like chew up your hands after a long time. I do have a foregrip on there, like a Magpul foregrip that
Mhm.
I can't decide. I kind of like it because my wrists are incredibly not flexible. So a vertical grip kind of feels good, but it's a little
Mhm.
weird too. I don't know, not 100%. Either either just a rail. I'm not a big hand stop fan. Either a rail or a vertical grip because my flexibility dog shit. That's just my.
I definitely a hand stop or a foregrip guy. I wouldn't just go with the rail guards personally.
I don't. I'm. They're okay. So the reason I don't mind those is because my actual like competitive shooting background is from shotguns.
That's
So
why. Okay.
I'm used to that like
Mhm.
feeling of how it is. So I've always shot clays through college, through high school, junior state champion at
Beast.
shotguns. So that's the same feeling of a shotgun. But I've started to get less flexible over time, and the vertical grip kind of feels good.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I actually, who am I to talk? Because I run like a Magpul vertical foregrip, but I use it as like a hand stop. So like I put my palm, I grip the rail, I guess, and I use it as like a hand stop, and my palm I push against the grip. I don't actually, I C clamp my rifles. I don't actually use the grip. So maybe, yeah, I do once in a while, but it's like my go-to. I like to C clamp with the stop for the foregrip. So maybe I need to switch up my underbarrel.
that makes sense. Edward asked, very important for Crash and Buff. What will you do if Modern Warfare 2, uh,
Fails to deliver, I think is
if
what
it,
he asked
oh, if it
before.
doesn't
Yeah.
deliver? Okay.
Yeah,
Probably the
that's
same thing I did with Battlefield 2042. Just muddle along and my channel will die. What would you do?
dude. Well, here's the thing. Even if the game fails, like there's gonna be, I'm not a thankfully I'm not a gameplay channel, even though I've had to be as of the past couple of years. But uh, the channel is weapon creation and gunsmithing, so there's gonna be plenty of that. So I'll be fine, even if the game's complete garbage. So I'm not worried about that. But if like let's just say the gunsmithing was also terrible, I'd have to I'd I'd have to shift to more like more Sandstorm, more Tarkov, Ground Branch, things like that. Is what I would probably shift to, especially like Sandstorm ISMC mod. I know I've covered a lot of stuff there, but there's still just like a stupid amount of content I could stretch. Just do a video on crazy guns, and that game could carry me a long way. But yeah, there's gonna be plenty of the gunsmithing is gonna go on for days. So I'm not. I honestly don't. If the game fails, it fails. We're gonna build a lot of weapons here, anyways.
Yeah, and I still hope you'll continue to do the show. This was kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
a spawn or a response of Battlefield 2042 failing. Is this show? I had my channel set up and doing well in the algorithm to cover gun builds and tactics and stuff in Battlefield 2042. That didn't happen, so I was like, this show covering the FPS genre as a whole weekly is kind of uh agnostic of that stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. We can still talk about other games. This covers the FPS genre. So even if Modern Warfare 2 fails somewhat, we can still talk about it here. We can talk about what that
Mhm.
means for the industry, and then we can talk about other games, Tarkov, what Embark Studios has coming, all these like Ready or
Right.
Not and these independent game stuff, Road to Vostok, Stalker 2, and that's why I made this show. So
Right.
even if a game fails, I'm not tied to one game on my channel as
Mhm.
much. So I really hope that this show continues to grow. I'm trying really hard to make it look good, make it sound good, and make a good product. And I hope this show grows, because honestly, I have a shitload of fun making it. I
Yeah.
appreciate everyone for being
Yeah, this is a blast. Like you said, it's a good place to talk about everything going on. So thankfully there's always gonna be new games. So
here.
but I don't think Modern Warfare 2 is gonna fail, so we don't even need to worry about it.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be best game ever. Yeah. No worries.
Um, Man, and nobody also asked. So he was intrigued by being a left-handed shooter. Um, do you run the left side ejection port or just take occasional brass in the cheek? I can shoot, honestly, if they have the deflector on them. I can shoot most ARs okay. The closest they usually get is sometimes it'll tickle my ear, but my 223 that I shoot most of the time is actually a Stag Arms left-handed upper, so it works all right. And then I have a right-handed lower, so it feels, the mag release and everything feels like what I'm used to, and then the bolt things on this side of my 223. I didn't have that option on, that's a 458 SOCOM, so that's just, it is what it is. But that's a heavy enough bullet and stuff, it really doesn't eject fast or backwards, so it ejects okay. I had to move the, I don't know what you call it, the thing inside the chamber that pushes the bolt, pushes the case off the bolt, moved it up a little bit so it ejects a little sooner. um but it's all good. I get by it, but I have taken some hot brass to the ear before being left-handed, and occasional like
Oh no.
powder burns out of the thing, sucks being left-handed.
Ugh.
But I got so used to shooting right-handed guns growing up that I left-handed guns like screwed me. Um, Big Mike asked, "Want to get together on Ready or Not, guys?" Dude, I would do it, man. I would I would
I
love
need
to
to
play
buy
that
it.
game.
Yeah. I'd totally be in. I gotta buy
I
it.
I think I have it. I want to play it. I'd love to play it with somebody else that kind of knows what's up with it too. I think that would make it a lot more enjoyable. I'm
Yeah.
down. I think I have it. Somebody gifted it to
Yeah,
me.
you said you got it gifted. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the prices. I gotta buy it. Make sure it run on the computer or upgrade if I need to and do it up.
I would do it. I would love that, Mike. That'd be fun. Three of us get together and run some stuff and Ready or Not. I want to try that. So, yeah, is that a show?
I think that's a show. I wanna give one more tidbit. I did see a leak from Reality, which looks like we're gonna get the AK-117 from COD Mobile in Modern Warfare 2 as a blueprint or something. And if you guys aren't familiar, the 117 is the AK-107. So we're gonna get the coveted precious itself, the AK-107 in Modern Warfare 2, which is gonna be amazing. And speaking of Reality, we actually are going to, I believe, what did I say? The 8th? I think we're gonna have him as a guest on August 8th.
Is it official?
He said he's down, so I think we'll need to test some things, but we should be able to get reality on here next week or two. He's game to come on, and I think we're also going to be getting Ralph in the next couple weeks as well. Ralph's Valve. So we definitely got some good guests coming up here soon. Those are just two of them. We got some more coming down the pipe as well. So have some good stuff coming up here. And guys, be sure the Scopes channel is linked in the description below, as well as Crash's channel. So go ahead and check both of those out. Like I said, I'll leave the VOD up here for you guys, but we'll be uploading the VOD cut up a little bit with minus the intros and stuff over on the Scopes channel, and then we'll have isolated clips throughout the week that'll post there too. So you guys, if you miss something, you want to see like a topic that's covered, you guys can check it out there also.
Yeah, I think that covers it. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, well, I can kind of reach the safety still without breaking the grip too much. It's different. He's mesmerized by my left-handed weird shooting. That's awesome. Yeah, I had to move I changed the carrier so it ejects a little bit sooner on one of my 223. The ones with the little brass ejector that's built into the upper, I usually don't have a problem with those because they usually bounce off that and go past. You just have to get used to shooting with brass flying by your eyes. So I always wear glasses.
Yeah,
Definitely
I was
always
gonna
wear
say
glasses.
eye protection is key, everyone.
Yeah, the safety's still the right side. I have to leave that stuff alone because I'm just so used to how it works. So I just tweak my hand and stuff. But yeah, it's a weird gun. The Stag Arms made those left-handed ones. So it was a long time ago when I got it, and then I didn't like the left-handed lower stuff, so I switched it all around back. So that's all. Yeah, it's weird.
Jeez,
Sorry.
so much
But anyway,
work.
yeah, I don't know. It's the one that I like it fits me the best for whatever reason, and then I really like shooting the 458 SOCOM. It's really cool. So like I don't know why I have these bullets here that I fidget with, but like we pour our own bullets. So this is a 357, like a full cartridge that shoots out of the suppressed lever gun. This is the 458 SOCOM, just the projectile. It's almost
Damn.
it's almost 500 grains. It's like 486 grains or something. So it's like 344 mag slugs
Stopping power.
in one bullet, and then suppressed so it's quiet. But these we pour these ourselves from lead, hollow point, and
Oh
then
damn.
we melt
Nice.
down lead and pour them in a mold, and then these are powder coated.
That's sweet.
So yeah, pretty fun.
I'll have to have my I've got a 30 mic and a 50 BMG, a couple of 50 BMGs. I'll have to have on standby next time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
I got a 30 mic from a fucking Apache.
That's
Thing's
awesome.
huge.
See that? I don't know why. Sometimes I just grab these and like fidget. I don't know why. They're just like my fidget spinners. But yeah. Anyway, I hope I don't get banned from YouTube for that. So, um, yeah. Well, it's your channel, so I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's all on me.
So, all right,
Yeah,
guys. Well,
that's yeah. Go ahead. You do the outro. All you.
I don't know. Do you want to? It's your channel.
I guess. Do I? So like behind the scenes speak here. I need to end it on my side, right? The way we're doing
Um,
this.
yeah. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the opener again, and then I think you'll just hit end it whenever.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, all right. I'll take the outro. So, thanks guys for trying to read. Yeah. Exactly. Not gonna give it away. I need to ditch my I need to ditch my steel plates and get some chromatics ASAP because steel will stop the bullet, but it will fragment and kill me. So it doesn't really. I guess it does its job, but yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Be sure to check out the Scopes channel down below in the description. We got Crash's channel. Check him out as well. He's got great content there, and we'll be uploading a lot of stuff to the Scopes channel. Ideally, eventually, we'll probably do the live stream over there, but we wanted to do it over here, and we'll probably do some more over here too going forward. Maybe switch back and forth. to get some more attention. And like I said, we got some big guests like Reality UK and Ralph coming up, so we'll do some interviews with them on all the Modern Warfare 2 leaks. And Reality is the one digging through all of the COD mobile files for Warzone Mobile to get all this information that we're seeing leaked. So that's pretty huge. But thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chats from everybody. Mike, man named Nobody. I think we also had the faulty lamp, and I think that's everybody. So thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out. Great show. And until next time, BuffNerd Gaming out.
Well, I got